Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Queen Sister Speaks. My name is Ebony Koger. Today is Friday, June 19th, 2026. It is Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth to those who celebrate. Today, we're going to do your soft life reading. So, the first card we have here, I asked, where are my viewers currently at on their soft life journey? And you have received Super Bia Pride. And when I see Super, I was like, what? And so Super Bia is Latin for pride or arrogance. Okay? So I'm not calling anybody a Bia. Okay? So right now, you may be learning a lesson about ego, pride, and self awareness. Now, ego is the part of you that wants you to protect your image, avoid feeling wrong, or be seen in a certain way. So we're dealing with some first house energies, right? And how pride is showing up is when you care too much about what other people think. You refuse to apologize, you need to be right, or hold on to a grudge. Self awareness is the ability to step back and honestly ask yourself why something bothers you so much and what this could be teaching you. So, this card isn't saying you're bad, okay? We all have our crutches, we all have our faults. So, I'm not in no terms saying that anyone is a bad person. That's not what it's saying. It's simply asking you to notice where you need validation or recognition, control, or vindication, and that could be robbing you or standing in the way of your peace. So this card is asking you to get real with yourself. The more willing you are to be honest, the easier it becomes to let things go and learn from your spirit experiences and move forward. Okay, so going back to what I said about grudges, and before we get to the second card, I want to touch on the difference between a grudge and wisdom. Now, a grudge says, I'm going to stay mad forever, replay this constantly in your mind, and you refuse to move on emotionally. However, wisdom says, this person has shown me who they are repeatedly. They showed you time and time again who they are. And I don't trust them with certain parts of my life anymore. So in this instance, it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to limit contact. It's okay to refuse reconciliation. Okay. So that doesn't automatically mean you're holding a grudge. The difference is whether the past is helping you make healthier decisions in the present or whether it keeps you feeling emotionally stuck. That's something you'll have to reflect on for your own situation. Now, the second card here, I cast the I Ching. And I asked the question, what is the best way for my viewers to move forward? And what you have received is I Ching number 6, which is conflict. So now, to be fair, conflict resolution skills aren't something many of us were taught growing up. Many of us, including myself, were taught to yell, argue, or even engage in physical altercations. And we see this more in our world with social media and other outlets of entertainment. And let's be honest, all right? There are some people you simply cannot be reasonable with because they will antagonize you. They will test your gangster to the umpteenth degree. But even with that truth, this card is showing that when you do get triggered, your ego can make things feel more personal than they really are. So you're being asked to pause and check yourself before reacting. I'll be honest with you. I didn't hear the term conflict resolution until I was in my mid 30s. And I learned it working, and I went to a workshop. So, learning these skills can help you stop wasting your time and energy on unnecessary drama. You can find plenty of resources on YouTube, blogs, books, and workshops. Years ago, I attended a workshop by Kirk Wilkinson, author of How to Deal with Jerks, right? So, experiences like that taught me that conflict resolution isn't just for the workplace, it's a life skill. The basics are simple: pause, listen, stay calm, respond instead of react. From there, you'll learn when to speak, when to walk away, which was the hardest lesson for me to learn. Okay, I could not walk away for nothing. And when silence is the strongest choice, trust me. Like I said, learning to walk away was one of the hardest lessons for me. And I've talked to people before, even when you try to walk away, they jump in your face. You understand what I'm saying? But as you grow in this area, you protect your peace and you respond with awareness and handle conflict in a way that keeps your life calmer and more stable. So, the last card here, I asked what will naturally unfold once you check yourself and learn conflict resolution skills. And what you received here was Janet Yellen. So, in real life, this may look like no longer arguing just to be right. Right? You may find yourself walking away from conversations that are going nowhere, or choosing silence when speaking will only create more stress or drama. You may also notice that you're less likely to spend money impulsively to cope with stress, prove a point, or feel better in the moment. I want to pause there because I think a lot of us can relate to that. Sometimes people spend money to appear more successful than they really are, or to compete with other people. The problem is that you don't always know what those other people are doing behind the scenes. Some are in debt, some are struggling, some are making choices you wouldn't make just to maintain an image. As a woman, especially as a black woman, I absolutely want to look my best, right? But I also want to be realistic about where I am financially and what makes sense for my life. So don't put yourself under pressure trying to impress people who aren't paying your bills and don't genuinely care about your well-being. Okay? So, as you become more aware of your emotions and your choices, you start thinking more long term about your money, your stability, your peace, and your future instead of reacting to whatever is happening right now. As this continues, your life becomes more organized, your decisions become clearer, and you naturally move into a more grounded and stable way of living where you are in control of your energy instead of your emotions controlling you. Once you start calming your ego, once you start checking yourself, right, and learning how to handle conflict in a healthier way, your whole life begins to shift into something more steady and intentional, right, with purpose. When you no longer react from pride, taking everything personally, or getting pulled into unnecessary drama, you stop draining your energy on things that don't actually move your life forward. This connects back to the first card, where you learn to let emotions flow instead of holding on to them. And the second card, where you learn to stop, pause, and think about it, right? And choose how to respond instead of reacting instantly. Together, Super Bia with pride, conflict, and the Janet Yellen card Okay? Together, these cards show that you're no longer emotionally spilling your energy everywhere. You're learning to contain it, protect it, and use it with purpose. Okay? So, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for spending time with me. Again, my name is Ebony Koger. This is Queen Sister Speaks. Take care. Ciao.